Greetings. Welcome to my video review of the Barcelona bench and stairs. Just wanted to take a quick look at where we left off. We completed our walls. Why don't we just hide our roofs? So we can select a roof. We could right click, hide in view. Let's just hide that whole category, and then we could just see how simple the wall arrangement here is. So we have our two ends kind of bookended, 3 walls down here, 4 down the other side, and then just 3 in between the two. So very simple. Then we could jump back into, we hit the light bulb down at the bottom. Now we could reveal what was hidden. We could select the roof, right click, unhide in view the whole category, and then light bulb to get out of the reveal hidden elements view. Okay, so quite simple so far. Okay, now let's take a look at the bench that belongs over here on the side of the pool. Let's jump over to our floor plan, and you can see I just have my floor plan open, my 3D view, and my section, which is, we'll be looking at our bench right in front of this wall right here. And there's our bench. Okay, and you'll recall that I believe it was in our last review, we selected this floor as I have just done. There it is. And we went to view, to the paintbrush, to overriding the category. And this is when we made it more transparent. We opened up the visibility graphics dialog box. We went to floors, and right there we reduced the transparency to 49. I'm going to reduce it. Transparency, I'm going to increase it a little more. Now we can see a little bit better. Okay, let's bring the review sheet over. Follow along. So we went through this. There's a more detailed description of what we went through on the floor one here. So we're going to create a generic floor, a 4-inch floor, and we discuss doing that, which we've already kind of covered. So let's go to architecture, floor. And we have loaded in here our 12, 10, and 2. We do not have a 4-inch floor that we want for our bench. So we're going to create that. Edit type. Duplicate. 4 inches. Let's edit the structure. Four inches. So we have a 4-inch floor in the title and a 4-inch thickness. Very good. Okay, now we are going to put it right here on top of there. So let's just look at our sheet. So we already covered how to do this quite well. Property box, discussed all of that. This is an important point that I don't think I pointed out. So we want to duplicate it and rename a generic 4-inch floor. We did that. So if you don't do this, it will change all of your 12-inch floors to 4 inches. Okay, so if you just go in there and change the structure, all of those 12-inch floors that we created will all be changed to 4. Okay, so that's the importance of duplicating. Okay, so we've taken care of all that. So now the bench should be 16 inches above the finished floor. Okay, so we didn't talk about how to do that. I didn't mention it in there, but we should know by now. Let's go to architecture. So I am in some sort of modify. What did I do here? I guess I'm not sure why I'm in this sketch command. Are you sure you want to discard the floor? No, okay, so it's a rectangle. Okay, I'm in the floor command already. Good. So we want to place this here, and we want it to be 16 inches. The top of it should be 16 inches above the finished floor. So I think the height offset is, for some reason, it's set correctly at 1 foot already. I believe that's the case. So the 1 foot plus the 4-inch thick floor should get us 16 inches above the finished floor. So that's where we are. Finished floor plus a height offset of 1. We'll, of course, check this out in section to make sure that I am correct. And then we'll always like to zoom in and be nice and careful. Okay, so that should be that. And then we'll hit the green light on there. And let's just pick up our section arrow, move it along so we could look right through it. And there's our bench. And that looks pretty good to me. Let's pull out our tape measure and make sure. And it is 8 inches. So 8 plus 4 is 12. So it is not good. So we need to raise this another 4 inches. So we could select it, and let's go 1'4". So my math was not correct. Let's check one more time now. Where'd my handy ruler go? Up here. So now we are a foot above to the bottom and 16 inches to the top. Good. Okay. So the magic number was 16. So it took it from, okay, that makes sense because so this is a floor. This is the finish line right here. So that would be 0, 0. So we had to get the top here up 16 inches above that spot. Okay, so my initial math, my thought was wrong. Okay, now let us get to the, back to the floor plan. Finish floor. Nope, that was a ceiling plan. That mistake happens a lot, actually. So this is a ceiling plan. So we are looking up at the ceiling. So let's close that and let's just collapse this little box so we avoid that mistake. A lot of times people, myself included, accidentally open up ceiling plans instead of floor plans. So here's our floor plan. And now we have these little pedestals, which have to be a foot thick. And we do have that wall. So let's try it out. That floor, I mean. Where is our 12-inch? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in walls, architecture, floor, and there we go. Here's our 12-inch floor, and that should make our little pedestal right there into our rectangle. Zoom out while I do this so I could see my numbers. So we're kind of making these numbers up. That looks pretty good at about 18 by 18. And we are on the finished floor, so I think that should suffice. Green light. Let's just pick up that section mark, put it right through that. And that looks nice. Okay, back to the floor plan. Back to the cheat sheet. So, so a series of 12-inch pedestals under the bench, place one, and so Control C, Control V, quite easy. Okay. So we selected it. That worked quite well. I was kind of surprised actually. Okay, I selected it right through the bench quite nicely. Let's try Control C, Control V, and here comes the next. Zoom in a little bit. So it kind of has this annoying larger box. That looks pretty well centered there. And the magic number is 8'4". Let's see if we could do that again. Control C, Control V. Right, so it's going back to the first one. I want to copy this one so I can get that 8'4" a little more easily. So we got it selected. Control C, Control V. Bring it down, and there is my 8'4". Good. Just take this right down the line while we're here. Dropped it at the wrong place. One more. Control C, Control V, down the line. And there is my 8'4". Okay, so that should continue all the way down, and then we will have our bench. Let's take a look at it in elevation. We are looking at the in the southern elevation. Yes, there we are. Yes, so my bench, yes, okay, so my bench top is disappearing behind this wall right there. There we could see it. So that looks good, and everything looks nice there. Okay, so we'll let you continue those bench pedestals all the way down, and now let's take a look at these stairs. All right, here are our stairs coming up. Okay, let's go back and take a look at our cheat sheet. So, architecture tab, circulation panel, stair, stair by component. All right, architecture, stair, stair by component. Okay, and then jump right into our property box. See options in the property box. Assemble, cast in place, and precast stair. There are 3 different options there. We're going to, for this purpose, we're going to go with the cast in place stair. So let's go grab that. Cast in place monolithic stair. Okay, monolithic stair. cast in place. After completing the stair, handrails could be selected and the type could be changed in the property box or deleted. Okay, so I didn't write down too much about how to do this exactly, but let's give it a shot. So very, very important. You can't go back and deal with this later, like with the walls. If I made a mistake with the walls, I easily selected it, came back here and adjusted the property box. Can't do that. Have to get it right this time. So we're going to start at the base, down near the sidewalk, and we are going to go up to the finished floor. Okay? And there are a lot of behind the scenes kind of issues or settings that are going on, talking about the risers and the treads and the maximums they could be and the minimums. We don't need to adjust any of that, but be aware that there are plenty of settings behind the scenes for custom stairs. Now, this just begins with a simple arrow. So we can see right there, we could see our floor that we're aiming for. And let's see, it's been a little while since I built stairs, but let's just see if I'm going the right way. So I started on the line, and what people often do, okay, so a common mistake is that people will just stop pulling this out when they think they're at the location where they should be. Don't do that. Just pull it all the way out, all right? Revit's doing all the work. It's doing all the math for you. Just below here, I can't move my cursor because I'm in it, but below the staircase, it says 7 risers created, 1 remaining. Let's zoom in so you can see that. All right, 7, just below the stairs, 7 risers created, 1 remaining. So now I've pulled it all out. 8 risers created, 0 remaining. All right, so it's not up to you to do any work at this point other than pull this thing all the way out. And that I just did. Okay, good. So let's just take a quick look at 3D, make sure I went the correct direction, and I did. Okay. So now at this point we can select and easily pull to the top, snaps right to place, pull to the bottom. Okay. Okay, so now our stair width is correct. We look at that in 3D. Just spin a little bit, so left to right, that looks good. Now we have this hole we have to deal with, obviously. So let us get back to our finished floor. And note that this whole stair construction puts us into stair mode. That's what, again, when we see our red and green lights up here, that means that we can't do anything else. We are stuck in this until we either confirm or deny that we want this staircase. So I said that there was a lot of behind the scenes kind of things that we could adjust and that we weren't going to, but I lied because we will, so that we could deal with this hole. Looking at this drawing, assuming it's correct, these treads, the part that we step on right there, so this is, these are actual tread depth is a whole foot, which is generous. 11 is usually the magic number, but these treads obviously must be bigger. There's an entire 2 treads that have yet to been accounted for, so these might be 16 inches or so. So again, we're in this mode, but notice when I select this staircase and we get these push and pull nodes at the ends, I can actually change that depth at this point with it selected. Kind of interesting. When I'm still in the mode, but I don't have it selected, now I could actually change this. So let's just creep up a little bit. I don't think this is the answer, 2 inches. It got us pretty close, but we still have to close the gap right here. This gray line right here is the end of our floor. So let's make that 4, and let's see how that gets us. Pretty close. One more. Let's see. Let's see what 5 does. Very close. Okay, so at this point, we pick up the staircase, and we cheat it in a little bit. Okay? And there's just slightly bigger reveal than Mies ever wanted probably, but we're going to have to go with it. So let's take a look at our staircase now, and let's actually just give it the green light so we can see the whole thing. The same line weights, and oh yeah, there we got some banisters that we didn't want. Okay, banisters could easily be removed. Let's just do that. Delete, and select and delete. Okay, we do need one more wall actually. Why don't we put that in while we're here? Okay, so staircase looks nice. Let's take a look in section. I always like seeing stairs in section. So we could pick this guy up, move him down, and jump into our section. And there's our staircase. Looks good. So we want to always check in section, make sure it's not engulfed in the floor or pushed into this floor or anything weird like that. Okay, so what we need actually, let's take a look at our shaded. Okay, so now our walls are shaded. It might be helpful sometimes to look at it. So we have a hole right through the crawl space, right under this thing. It's just a complete void. So let's deal with that while we're here on the subject of walls. So actually just jump back there one more time into that section and get a measurement. You could do the math, but I don't feel like doing math right now. So we're just gonna, so that's the bottom of our pool there. So this is the bottom of our floor to the top. So 3'8" is the magic number. Okay, which is not surprising, being that our top of deck was 4'8", and this is a 1 foot floor, 1 foot thick floor. So 4'8" minus a foot is 3'8". So that is the remaining area there. So let's jump to our finished floor, and we need a wall that is 3'8". Wall, save. Any generic wall will do. We're not going to see its thickness. We are going to start on the base, and we are going to come up to the finished floor and the top offset. So we're not going to go all the way up. We're going to be minus that 1 foot. So minus 1 foot. Apply. All right, and we want to pay attention. We want to pay attention to where this is taking us. We do not want to be on the center line. Let's try the interior. Sometimes it's a little, and this is, we're tracing this entire base all the way around, under the floor, the original floor that we made, basically all the way around, so that we can't get underneath the pavilion into the crawl space. So let's just start and see where this takes us. So now I annoyingly cannot see the floor at this point. I can't see where it's being laid down, but I'm just going to lay it down anyway. None of the created elements are visible on this floor plan. You kind of knew that would happen. Let's take a look. So I put one floor there. Let's take a look in this section. And it was not successful. So it was on the, it came on the outside, even though we couldn't see it in that floor plan. We'll talk more about what the view depths in different floor plans. This we could just pick up and move in. So it does snap pretty well. Okay, so let's try it again. So now we moved it to the correct location. Let's go back to that finished floor. Let's try one here now. Same way. Wall. 8-inch fine, and we have, this is all, nope, not the bottom of the ceiling. We want to go to the bottom of finished floor. Hold on, something's wrong. We are, yep, it went back to finished floor. We want to be on the base at the bottom. We want to be at the, our top is the finished floor, and the top offset is a foot, okay? So check all that, because again, we're on that finished floor, but we're not drawing the wall on the finished floor. So that's why it reverts to where it thinks it wants to be. But we want the base to the finished floor minus the foot. So this is what did not work out last time, was my selection of the interior. So let's try the exterior. Okay, I'm going to go back to that same location. Yes, so I think this is, yeah, maybe those little arrows are helping me to realize which direction this is going. So let's click once, and we know that we can't see it. And let's just, before we do this whole thing, let's make sure that we got it correct. And there it is, right there. Okay, so we're in that shaded view. Let's get out of that. Just do hidden line. So that's the wall that we just created. Okay, so the correct one was the finished face exterior. Okay, so let's get back to our finished floor and finish this up. So one more time, wall, 8-inch, location line exterior, correct. This was repopulated. We're going from the base up to the finished floor minus the foot. It retains the foot, but it forgets everything else. Okay, now let's finish this up. So we were here, and that's our inside corner, and now we can move around. So I'm tracing our very first floor that we created. We'll have to take a 3D look around, see if this worked out. We don't really need this wall that I'm drawing now. We can't see this one, but I'm just going to keep the string going. Okay, that should have done it. Alright, let's take a look at the 3D view. Fingers crossed. And there's our nice wall, tucked in underneath the staircase. Alright, I think all my snapping was good, so I feel pretty confident that it should all be neat. It looks good, so I don't want to see any ledges from the underside or the top. Looks good. So very important, always inspect everything that you build. You have to take... Yep, no ledges, looks good. So this is the floor, that's the edge of the floor that we're looking at, and that's the wall. Okay, coming around the corner, all looks good. And all right, looks pretty good. Let's move these guys aside a little bit. So I just have to finish my pedestals for my bench. And let's take a look at it. Shaded. Does that help? Yeah, not really. It's just a little dark and gray. Let's take a look at hidden line. Yeah, hidden line's the best. So we don't have any materials applied, so there's no reason to go to realistic or anything else. We're just looking at form at this point. So it looks good. Okay, so please get your base walls in, floor, or your stairs, and your bench. Okay, and then we will move on to the next. Getting the columns in, the columns that are actually supporting these roofs we need. Okay, good luck and thank you.